Hi everyone, welcome back again to the iConis podcast, and we're doing another unboxing video. On today's video, we're talking about Superman and the Supermobile by Todd McFarlane, Wave 1. Here we go. And I know there's going to be a lot of questions about this one, but here we go. So now, first and foremost, you should know about Superman. Everyone knows about Superman. He came from the planet of Krypton. He was created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster back in 1938, made his debut in Action Comics #1. When he started, he was what I call Earth 2, Earth 1. So when he was created, he was working at the Daily Star, not the Daily Planet. That's where it came in. That was his origin. He was more of a strong man, so he can run fast. He had invulnerability. He can jump high. That was pretty much it at his debut. Okay. But then as time went on, they kind of did a reboot and they put him over to the Daily Planet. As we've come to know him, he had the flight, he had the heat vision, telescopic vision, super hearing, super breath. And then his strength and everything else was augmented beyond. Cool. I always make the joke that why does he need a mobile? Well, maybe he saw the Batmobile and said, hey, women really do like the car. If you go back to the Batman movie that had George Clooney playing Batman with Chris O'Donnell playing Robin, and that's why Robin stole the Batmobile that time. Okay. So here we are. Todd McFarlane is going back to what the Kenner toys were to bring these things to life. And I think that's a lot of fun. I mean, if you look at the packaging here, this is, once again, well done for the price point as it is. You don't need to overcomplicate things. And I like it. Keep it simple. The whole KISS method. And there we go. Wave 1. So what happened in Wave 1? Well, it was Batman, Darkseid, and Superman with the Batwing and the Supermobile. If you watched past videos, you've seen I've done videos with Wonder Woman and her invisible plane. And I've also done the Batwing with Batman. So this is the last piece to the puzzle. It took me a little bit longer to get all of these together, and this is why I had the videos here. Now, usually, I like to buy 2 of each so I can open one and keep one in the box. Unfortunately, I was only able to get this set the way it was, and I couldn't do it until now. The only variation is I just recently acquired Wave 4 of the Superpowers collection by the one and only Todd McFarlane, and it has Superman with his 52 look. So if you look at the new 52, when they turn around and they launch that, this is where that costume is. So what's the difference between the 2 costumes real quick? Well, the costume seems a little bit darker. The red seam is a little bit darker. The blue is a little bit darker. The chest emblem is a little bit bigger, as you can see by the side-by-side here. There is no red trunks. He only has on a red belt, and that is the new 52 look. Pretty much the body stays the same. No changes on that at all. So they use the same pose, doll, sculpturing, everything was done the same way. That's it. That's the only difference. You can see it here visibly. So, if you get it, you're like, why is this one looking different? Now let's go with this, because I bought 2 of this Superman, the 52 one, so I can open one and keep one, because why not? That's how we do at times. Once again, that's a shout out to my brother. Hey, big up, Brian. All right, enjoy. Now the new 52 line, that ran from 2011 to 2015, and that's when they ended it in 2015 in June. Makes it a Gemini. All right. Happy about that. Once again, as you can see with the packaging, same thing. But of course, now since this is Wave 4, it has a lot more characters that have come out over that time. And these are the only ones that have a vehicle. Yes, I do have the Batmobile, but I did not buy 2 of them. I only needed 1 because I'm not going to keep, budget right on. And this is what I enjoy. So I still have it. All good. Now, the main focus on today is the Supermobile. And as I said, why does he need a Supermobile? We laugh. As kids, we made jokes about this. As grown-ups, they make jokes about this. Comic book readers make jokes about this. Why does Superman need a vehicle? Aha! And I have a theory. And before I get into that, here we go. So this box, out of all the vehicle boxes, is one of the longer, bigger ones. It's bigger than Wonder Woman's Invisible Jet. It's definitely bigger than Batman's Batwing, but it's roughly the same size, I would say, as the Batmobile, the box that comes in. I wish the box did have a window. That's all right. This is what it does to keep the price point down. Then good enough on that. And here we go. We're just kind of taking a peek on what you can see around the side and the back of it. So on this, we see right away, it's got compartments on the back of it to hold whatever you want to throw in there. I don't know what Superman's going to have in there. I don't know. A picnic basket because he's on his way to make Lois Lane. I mean, it only seats 1. Here we go. It does have the fist that bounce back and forth. If he's got to punch something because, why not? He's Superman. And he's got the canopy, of course, to put the figure in. So we're going to open this up and take a peek of it. Now, a lot of times, as I said, the running joke is, why would Superman need a supermobile? And we go, haha, he has all the powers. But what happens if he loses them? Then what? Well, people's first reaction is, well, he's not Superman anymore. He's just a man that was super. So that would be one thing. But then we have to think about certain aspects. Bruce Wayne has the Batcave in his basement. Like literally he goes down from his house, goes down the pole elevator behind the clock. However, which version of you're watching, he gets to his base. So therefore he doesn't have to travel anywhere. He just can, it's like working from home. Batman works from home. Wonder Woman is able to telepathically call her jet. And there's times she's, depending what version you're watching, she can actually ball it up into a glass, transparent ball and it sticks around in her purse. I mean, no word of a lie. This is what they've done. So it's got different aspects to call it. She's never, if she gets depowered, she can still reach out to it because you only lost your powers, not your mind, because she doesn't have telepathy. It's just that she's connected to her jet. So with all that being said, why would Superman need a mobile? Well, very simple. When he loses his powers, the Fortress of Solitude is way up. It's like, the Fortress of Solitude is where Santa's workshop is, up in the Arctic. How do you get there? If he loses his powers in the city, how does he get there? Superman can't teleport. There's no teleporter per se. I know the Justice League have a teleporter and he might put one there and put one in his house. But let's say he doesn't have that, because depends which version you go with. So it's a backup plan. How do you get all the way up there? If you remember Superman 2, the Richard Donner one, or even the one they put out in the theaters with Christopher Reeves, he had to hitchhike and walk and drive, and then he had to rent a car and ran out of gas and walk some more to get back to his Fortress of Solitude. He had no way to get there. It would be a lot easier if he had what? A supermobile. He parks it somewhere close in the city. He gets to it. He opens it up. He can still fly. Good. He's all good. So the Supermobile made its debut in Action Comics because it was inspired, somewhat voluntold, to create this. So back then, it made its debut in Action Comics issue number 481, cover dated March of 1978. The DC had a deal with one of the toy companies, Corgi Toys, and Corgi Toys was making die-cast models of the vehicles. So they had, a die-cast model of the Batmobile, the Batplane, they had the Batboat, little die-cast models, and they were selling those. And they had other vehicles, like I believe Joker had a news vehicle with his face on this. No, the Joker had a Jokermobile. Lex Luthor had like a Newsmobile, or Clark Kent had a Newsmobile. So they made all these to sell, but they needed something for Superman, and this is what they came up with this design. So Corgi Toys turned around and reached out to DC saying, hey, we're coming up with this toy. We need you guys to make it. And then, of course, they made a bigger scale to put the action figure in to help sell it. So it's like He-Man. The toy came first, and then it had to be incorporated into the storyline. So the writer Cary Bates said the Supermobile was created as a promotional tie-in with Corgi Toys' toy line. He wasn't feeling that because anytime the toy company dictates the story and what has to be put in there, they don't feel that it's organic or it's natural enough. It's like, look at G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, the new one, the greatest American hero, all the, the smaller figures, they were toys, and then had a comic book had to be done. Larry Hannah did his due diligence and went ham on it. Same thing with Micronauts. They weren't feeling this. You have all this established history, and there we are. So we had to turn around and do this. So they had to turn around and do it and then write a story that would make sense. So the story they came up with is Amazo, which is a robot that can absorb all the powers of anyone he comes in contact with. So he's got all the powers of the Justice League, and the Justice League has fought him many times. They captured him. They put him in a trophy case, just like Batman has a trophy case in the Batcave. They put him in a trophy case on the Justice League satellite that's in orbit around Earth. And then an explosion happened, and these radiation that came all the way from Krypton. So Krypton, the explosion happened, and red sun radiation took years to get to Earth. And at the time the radiation hit the Justice League satellite, it reawakened Amazo. But it started to depower Superman because he was on monitor duty on the Justice League satellite. So Amazo goes to attack him. Superman's powers are starting to go. He takes off trying to save himself, flies back down to Earth. And by the time he gets to Earth, his powers are gone. He's just a mere mortal. At the time, Amazo's trying to kill his creator because he thinks his creator brought him back out of his slumber. And his creator was Dr. Ivo, who created the Red Tornado. So picture like a Hank Pym of the DC universe. You know how Hank Pym did Ultron? Dr. Ivo created the Red Tornado and Amazo. But at this point, he's no longer a bad guy. He's done his time. He's had a change of heart. He's trying to do good. So Superman's trying to save Dr. Ivo, fight Amazo with no superpowers. That was happening in Metropolis. After the fight, you know, it looked like Amazo killed Superman and Ivo, but Superman secretly teleported back to the Fortress of Solitude and was working on a machine in his room, in one of the rooms there at the Fortress of Solitude. So they talked about it. It's like, what are you making, Superman? It's like, well, in this room is what's going to help me fight, you know, Amazo at the time. And this is what he had going just in case the fact he lost his powers. So the hull was made out of supermanium. Yeah, I know, like adamantium, supermanium. There we go. Supermanium. It was a metal that Superman was able to use, and I guess from his old rocket ship that brought him to Earth, he had the strength to bend the metal and make it. And this was all deduced by Batman, because Batman and the rest of the Justice League were stuck on the Justice League satellite that Amazo put in another dimension. Here we go. And this is how this machine came out. So it could replicate all of Superman's powers. Once he's in there, it shielded him from the red radiation, the red sun radiation. So his powers came back, and it could fly. You know, it had jets to make it turn on the drop of a dime. The fist had Superman's strength to it. And then Superman on the console was able to pull up like a periscope, and he would select a button, and it would either do his heat vision, telescopic vision. It had advanced hearing, so it replicated all of Superman's powers while in this machine. Yeah. It was a crazy time. It was a crazy time for merchandising, but this is what they decided to do. So here we are. So good on Todd McFarlane for bringing this back. I wish he would do something once again with a playset and bring in the Fortress of Solitude. So hold on, I'm going to open this up. So now what happens is I bought this one, but I have another one where the box is kind of faded in the front, and we're going to open that one up and open up the figure and see how that all fits together. So here we go. All right, here we are. So now you can see the box is a little bit more faded because I said I found this one at another store and it was faded by the sun. So it's not your cameras. You can tell, but you know, I'm not faded. It really is this. So the box, the packaging is, once again, very simple as how the packaging was. Thank you, Todd McFarlane. And we're going to get down to the nitty gritty of it. So I'm going to put this to the side for half a second. And here we go. We're going to start off with Superman from the 52 collection. So let's see what we have here. So I'm going to open this up and, you know, I'm going to try to, sometimes I try to save the packaging, but you know, what's the point? I mean, just, it's not going to go anywhere unless I'm going to try to sell the card when I'm in my, you know, 70s in the future, and hopefully it's going to be worth something, right? There we go. All right. So we got that. Comes out pretty neat. Simple enough. I like how this looks. And I said, I like the darker colors. So they really kind of got that done well. The back comes out really easy to make it. Oh, okay. Once again. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Here's a joke where you make about the carbonite. But what I wanted to show you is, unlike past toys, look at that. They didn't put a pin in it to damage the cape. This is great. Cape is very simple, basic. There we go. And can't complain. Get this stuff out the way. Bum, 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 bum. All right. I like, I said, I like it. I like it. Yes. And I'll have my, you know, always got to plug away. The iConis podcast. Scan this. Y'all know where we can find us. This is a lot of fun. This is, I like what I'm seeing here so far. Once again, there was no pin in the back. A little clip that you had in the original series. Remember, I had Wonder Woman and it almost damaged the cape. Same thing with Batman. Very simple. Very simple. Of course, the cape can come off and on, but that's not what we're here to see. That's only part of what we're here to see. The other part of it is the Supermobile. Here we go. We're going to get this out in one piece, and we're going to get this done. Okay. Very straightforward. All right, so here's the canopy. I will put this to the side. Presto chango, nothing up your sleeves. Get this piece of plastic out the way. Oh, I had it upside down. All right. Right, nothing else in the box, so that works, except for the pieces that's going to hold this all together. Here's the wing in the back. Take that off. All right, so the canopy doesn't come on, but we see there's a little knob here to punch your way through justice. The cockpit looks pretty interesting. I like that. It's got some gears and everything. No, as I put it, no joystick or yoke or steering wheel in there like Wonder Woman's playing or Batman's playing. I guess Superman just sits there and he just yells. Okay, makes sense. But here's the fun part. So we turn around and we're just going to snap. So it's just two pieces to snap together. Don't even need to read the instructions. You know, you figure it out. Boom, that clicks into place. Good enough. And it makes it pretty much solid. I like the new 52. I find he's more balanced. I find when I was had Batman, he kept falling over, and Wonder Woman, but the new 52, all right, it got it. So that goes down there, click, all right, and then we just snap this into place. And here we go. So let's take a tour around this. As I said, you don't have to have things to be complex or, you know, to not make them fun. Here we have the Supermobile, as I said, we hit the old S. Guess what? The cockpit opens. We're good there. And that, my friends, is almost that. So let's see here. What's in here? All right. So it's a little bit stiff to open. So I said, I just had to take that away to get that open. As you can see, is it big enough to hold Superman or a figure in there? Not necessarily, as you can tell by that. But at the same time, you can get him to sit down where he needs to sit down to take over everything. So we just kind of turn around here, get the arms up, get the cape down, get the legs in, and we sit him down. And he looks, it looks a little bit, oh yeah. He's as in as going to be. And that is the unboxing video with the iConis podcast. Thank you once again for tuning in. And remember, every Tuesday we're dropping a new video, and every Wednesday it comes on Spotify and any place where you get your podcast. I will do more fan casting going forward. Thank you very much for tuning in on this unboxing video. And until then, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a Supermobile. Oh, okay, then maybe one day they'll do this, you know, the Marvel ones, and we'll see the Spider-Man mobile. That there is a different story in itself. And remember, this whole world was created by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming. And also note that we have now joined the Subculture Podcast Network. So please check out the other podcasts that are along with us on that network. We're all there for your entertainment, and we have a lot of things coming up for you in the near future. So I hope you enjoy it and look forward to hearing back from everybody to see their opinions. Have yourselves a great day.